What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports back again with another one. Ever since the conclusion of the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder trilogy, the fight has been given a lot of accolades. People have been praising this fight, basically giving it a standing ovation, a round of applause for this fight. Basically saying they've witnessed or seen one of the greatest heavyweight title fights of all time. Right up there with Ali Frazier 1 and 3, Bo Holyfield 1 and 3. Both of those fights didn't have a great second fight, but the 1 and 3 of both of those fights were epic. Barrera Morales, all 3 of those fights. Pacquiao Marquez, all 4 of those fights. It's right up there with all those great trilogies. And with Pacquiao Marquez, they could have stopped after their 3rd fight and it would have been still right up there. But they actually had a 4th fight that ended in a dramatic fashion as Juan Manuel Marquez put Pacquiao to sleep like he had given Pacquiao some NyQuil. But it's only one in a sea of applauses, one current that's going up against that sea of applause, one pushback that's going against pretty much universally recognized as a great fight, one of the greatest of all time. You got one guy that's basically hating on that fight, drinking haterade, guzzling down some haterade, chug-a-lugging some haterade, and that is Barry Hearn, the godfather of UK boxing, father of Eddie Hearn, aka Eddie the con artist, Barry Hearn, who I affectionately call Papa Hearn. He was at some golf event, promoting, I guess, a friend or somebody that he's associated with, and they was asking him questions about the Fury Wilder fight. He was like, oh, it was a good fan-friendly fight, but technically it was not good. It wasn't up to par. And by the way, the second fight only did 350,000 pay-per-view buys. Forget what you heard. Forget what's documented. It only did 350,000 pay-per-view buys just because I said so. Ain't got no document, ain't got no proof, just hating on the fight. So I figure that the guys just won't let it go because of anything the PBC involved with, the Hearn family is going to hate on it. They're going to find something to hate about it. As they're still mad. They still got their jaws tight. They still got their panties in a bunch because they wasn't able to lure any notable PBC fighters into their corner when they came over here with that $1 billion deal with the Zone. They thought they was going to come over here and raid the PBC stockyard. And that wasn't the case, ladies and gentlemen. Wasn't nowhere close to happening like they thought it was going to happen. They came over here and fell flat on their face, just like Anthony Joshua came over here and fell flat on his face in the first Andy Ruiz fight. That's the parallel between the company and their #1 fighter. See, Barry Hearn was the same guy that said AJ was on a 10-year plan and they wasn't looking to fight Deontay Wilder in that 10-year plan. So basically, they were saying they ain't trying to fight Deontay Wilder ever. Or at least till when Wilder get so old that they know there's a 99.9% chance that Anthony Joshua can knock out Wilder. Basically, is what they was. Basically, what he was saying. Now Barry Hearn is out here saying that Tyson Fury is the #1 heavyweight, but he wants to see him mix it up with other heavyweights. He's basically throwing AJ in there with Usyk. Basically saying Usyk is one of the great technicians in the game and he's looking forward to that rematch. But he basically saying that we're doing great numbers over here. We're a global promotional company. And he basically was pumping up Dillian White, saying that's a 50-50 fight. Tyson Fury could outbox Dillian White, or Dillian White could catch Tyson Fury and knock him out. Who knows? That's why he want to see the fight happen. Saying it would do 1 million buys over here in the UK. But what he failed to realize is it might do 1 million buys, but at $20 a pop. So that's 20 million. Just like Wilder Fury 3 did 1 million buys, that's what Barbara M said is trending toward. They're doing it at $80 and $90 a pop. So they're making way much more money over here in the United States in a Fury Wilder 3 fight than they would make over there with a Tyson Fury Dillian White fight. That's why Tyson Fury was saying after the fight in the post-fight press conference that his next fight will be in the United States, in the good USA. He's a transplant now. He's basically an American fighter. He ain't fought in the UK in what, how long? About 4 years, 3 to 4 years? So for the UK to get that fight, they're going to have to put some good numbers up to Tyson Fury and his team. If the numbers are similar or less than what he can do over here in the US, best believe he's going to be fighting over here in the US in his next fight, whether it be Dillian White or whoever else. Let me know your thoughts about Barry Hearn basically drinking a gallon of Haterade and hating on the fight, basically downplaying the excitement on the fight and what this fight brought to boxing. He basically said that the heavyweight division carries the sport of boxing. As goes the heavyweight division, as goes the sport of boxing. He did give it credit on that, in that regard. But outside of that, he was shitting on the fight and basically tried to bring back old lies and saying the second fight did not do what Bob Arum and everybody that's been documented about how many buys this fight did. He's basically saying everybody lying. It's smoke and mirrors. It's propaganda. The fight only did 250,000. And then when the interviewer tried to correct him, he said, well, shit, if even it did 850,000. You know, that's compared to the first 2 fights did not do that good. That's, you know, it's doing, I guess you could say it did good compared to the first 2 fights that did poorly. You know what I'm saying? It's always looking for a way to shit on that fight because his son came up shorter than a midget on his knees when it came to making it big here in America. Now his son is coming over here this Saturday to put on a fight between Mikey Garcia and some no-hoper in a minor league baseball park. And he's going to come over here and try to sell that fight as a big fight. But that's what promoters supposed to do. They supposed to try to sell you a bill of goods. And if you don't do your homework, if you don't see through the BS, you can fall for that. So we will see what happens and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about Barry Hearn in the interview with Boxing Social, basically hating on Fury Wilder 3 and hating on Fury Wilder 2. Let me know your thoughts and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I holla.